Hi guys, welcome along to the second mobility session for the On-Course Foundation Mobility. My name's Gregg Stevenson, an On-Course member, and today we're going to be talking about core stability. Core stability is a huge part of the game even if you don't realise it. By having a strong stable core we can make a stable base, we can protect the spine when we're flexing and extending and rotating, so we can hopefully reduce injuries. It also, by having a strong, supple core, you can create extra rotation and an explosive movement that is only going to assist your game. The core muscles that are working throughout the golf swing can be quite complex to understand, but to simplify it, what we're trying to do is focus on our isometric strength. So when we get into a stance, we're using our rectus abs, which is almost the traditional sort of six-pack image of the rectus abs. And that controls flexion and extension. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to hold ourselves in that correct position whilst rotating. So we're relying on the rectus abs to hold that isometric position. So all isometric means is when the muscle is holding itself in a static position, so like that. And then to make it a little bit more complex, we're relying on the obliques, which run laterally down the body, to then create the rotation. By strengthening and having good mobility in these muscles, it's really going to assist us. The exercises that I put together today are really going to focus on core stability, but also on functional exercises that are going to assist us to replicate that sporting movement. As always, the first element of the session is going to be mobility. All I want here is to wake the abs up, to perhaps wake the glutes up, to get nice and mobile. So we're going to start just with some toe touches. So basically get into that almost that stance position, and you're simply just going to keep touching the opposite foot with the opposite hand. You go for 15 repetitions, nice and mobile, nothing too crazy at this stage. Cool. And then into some side flexions, so you're just allowing the body to bend, so warming up those obliques that we mentioned, a good rotation, and also a massive element of stability comes from the obliques. And then just some simple rotations, so just trying to increase the stretch as we go on each time, just slightly further, but nice and mobile, that's the main thing. Okay, so the next one is knee drops, so just lying on the back and just allowing the knees to drop to the sides, just allowing that trunk rotation, good mobility, again nothing too crazy at this stage. And then the final one is great for our hips, so just allowing the hips to drop down. So this time you're allowing both knees to go to the same side, like a windscreen wiper. Really good for our sort of hip mobility, and again just waking in that core up. Okay, so the first part of the actual strength building phase, I've focused on 3 exercises that are going to be great for that isometric strength. So we talked about that ability for the muscle to hold the body in a certain position and how important that is in golf, and these exercises are going to be great for that. So the first one is getting into the plank position with your arms extended, and you're just going to do 8 on each arm, and it's just simply tapping the shoulders. That's a great exercise because that's really focusing on the isometric strength in the plank, as well as creating the instability by taking one hand away. Okay, next exercise is the press up windmill. So this time we're just going to take as much rotation as possible and then back down. Again, we've got that isometric hold, but we're also adding the rotation element. So we're beginning to get a little bit more complex, but fantastic for building up that position we need to be able to play golf. You'll be glad to hear that this is the final one sort of in the press-up position, but this time I want you on your knees, so on all fours. Okay, so the next phase of exercises, I've got 3 exercises where you're going to be on the floor, sat down. The first one is going to be great for our rectus abs. So we're going to put our feet up and you're just going to simply crunch. So dead simple, you'll have done it before. You're just going to hold it for 3 seconds and release. And we're going to do that 8 times. The second exercise is going to be a side crunch. So we're going to put the legs over to one side together and crunch up in that position. Really targeting the obliques this time. So the muscles we use to stabilise the core, as well as the muscles that are huge in our rotation. 8 on each side. The third one is going to challenge both the rectus abs and slightly the obliques, and it's just knees to elbow. The final exercise is actually going to be for the rectus spinae, which is the 2 big muscles that provide extension. So if we are in the seated position for extended periods, the core can get tight and causes that rounding of the back, that poor posture, which is quite common. And this exercise will actually help focus on the muscles that create extensions. Again, a huge element of being able to create a good athletic posture. So just down into the prone position, and you're going to raise the chest up, hold for 3 seconds, and down. Okay guys, so I want you to go through those exercises 3 times please. Basically 8 of each exercise 3 times. By adding the mobility session from last week and some of the elements from this session, we're beginning to really get that good functional fitness and strength that is going to really help our game. I'm looking forward to the next session where I'm going to focus on a few strength building exercises that again will progress us further, and after that I'm hoping to tie all the elements together in one session where you'll see how being more mobile and having the strength and power to create a decent golf swing will hopefully assist you.